This is my table covered in Lego bricks, and today I'm going to challenge myself to turn them into a huge Willy Wonka chocolate factory with characters and rooms from the movie. So with all that said, Lego. Also, this video is brought to you by Squarespace. More from them later. First, I ordered a package from Firestar Toys containing a Willy Wonka minifigure. It's custom and super detailed and comes with a giant gobstopper and a golden ticket. And if you don't already know, in the movie, Willy Wonka, who runs the chocolate factory, put a golden ticket in 5 random chocolate bars, and 5 lucky kids who found it would have a chance to win a trip to the factory and a lifetime supply of chocolate. And first, I want to build the factory, and I'm going to start with the front entrance. What about starting with building a red carpet to make it feel like you were walking into a castle? And since in the movie the building looks kind of lame, I want to do something with a bit more color, like in the Mr. Beast thumbnail. And after spending some time messing around with it, I'd say it looks pretty legit. And I even added a little hat to give it more character. Then I began to wrap up the rest of the front entrance with a little smokestack on top. And now that we have a factory to visit, I want to build some of the golden ticket winners. The first kid to win was Augustus Gloop, and he likes candy a bit too much. Bro accidentally ate the golden ticket. And the second was a really spoiled girl whose dad hired a bunch of people just to open chocolate bars, and eventually they found it, and I don't even know how she was allowed to enter the competition. Then there's this third girl who really likes gum, and she's totally not going to turn into a giant blueberry later. And the fourth kid's name is Mike TV, and all he does is dress up as a cowboy and watch Ninja Fortnite highlights. And then there's Charlie Bucket. His family is poor, and because of that, they can't get a lot of chocolate. His family also lives in this really old house, and his grandparents share a bed. But lucky for Charlie, he found the last ticket and took his old grandpa Joe with him to the factory. And now that everyone and their parents are together, we can get started with the very first room. Now in the movie, this place was pretty sweet and tasty looking, so I decided to take some things from it. Like, what about a chocolate river? I took some brown tiles and placed them next to each other and then surrounded it with a bunch of green plates and was able to create a nice river aesthetic. Now I'm gonna put down some of the other sweet builds like these gumdrops, popsicles, and other candies. And I also made this massive mushroom because why not? Lego mushrooms are epic. But you know what's cooler than all of that? A chocolate waterfall. So that's what I have to build next. And for spending some time planning and testing, I was able to make a really cool looking design. And you could have your boys ride down it. And the last things I need to build here are a bridge so that way everyone can cross the chocolate river without getting covered in chocolate. And also this pipe to help keep the chocolate all purified. And all the characters really liked it in here, but Augustus Gloop probably liked it a little too much because he tried to take a slurp out of it.
Don't just stand there, do something!
Help, police, murder.
So yeah, that kid drowned. But it's okay because the best orange people ever, called Oompa Loompas, came in to evict his mom and sing about how he ate too much.
I've got a perfect puzzle for you.
Now everyone kind of wants to leave, so how about building a boat? And after putting together some different blue parts and mechanical pieces, I made a nice looking ship. And in the movie, it was able to sit a lot of people, but the one I built only has 1 seat.
Hey, this thing only has 1 seat. It's impossible for us all to fit.
Possible, my dear lady, that's absurd. Unthinkable.
After the boat took a nice little trip across the river, it made it to the entrance of our next room, the inventing room. And in the movie, this room had a bunch of wild inventions, but none were as wild as this one. It's a machine that makes a gum you can chew on forever called an everlasting gobstopper. I made one using this piece with studs on every side and attached different colors to each side.
Who wants an everlasting gobstopper?
Me!
So Willy Wonka gave everyone a piece, and the girl who likes the gum decided it would be a good idea to try it before it was done. And yeah, she turned into a giant blueberry. So the Oompa Loompas came back to do some damage control and dragged her out, and her dad as well.
I got a blueberry for a daughter.
How about building the next room with the fizzy lifting drinks? After spending some time analyzing the room with the fan shelves and whatever that thing in the center is, I think I was able to capture it in Lego pretty well. And these are fizzy lifting drinks. And what's cool about them is they let you fly. But you're not allowed to drink them because reasons. So when Willy Wonka left and wasn't looking, Grandpa Joe had a great idea.
Come on, let's take a drink. Nobody's watching.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And it was about to hit the fan, but they started burping and they landed back on the ground. How about building the chocolate egg room? I built up these stands to hold these birds that are supposed to be geese, but since Lego doesn't make geese, these will have to do. So these weird pigeons were laying chocolate eggs.
Golden chocolate eggs.
Yeah, that's right. And there's also a sorter I built, and it will blink green if it's a good egg, and red if it's a bad egg. It'll also be incinerated in the furnace. Anyway, the spoiled rich girl wanted one of these pigeons, and her dad tried to buy one from Willy Wonka, but he said no, and she fell down a furnace, and her dad followed her. Come back here, say! Ah! How about building the Wonka Vision Room? In here, big things are transported into little things. Like this big chocolate bar I just built. You can put under a scanner, and it teleports it into a small piece of chocolate. And this gave Mike TV an idea.
Hey, get away from that thing!
Stop, don't come back.
And yeah, he ended up getting transported into this tiny person, and his mom put him away in her purse. And he's gonna get sent to the taffy puller room. Now I only have one more room to build, and it's Willy Wonka's office. And Willy's a funny guy, and everything in his office is cut in half, so I tried to replicate that using Lego. Like this clock on the wall, the picture frame, the desk, and there's even a little hat stand. And since Charlie and Grandpa Joe were basically the only ones to survive, they should win, right?
He broke the rules.
What rules? We didn't see any rules.
Wrong, sir. Wrong. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized, so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And Grandpa Joe was pretty upset, so he left, but Charlie made sure to give back the everlasting gobstopper.
You won. You did it. You did it. I knew you would. I just knew you would.
Now Charlie's still confused, and honestly, so am I.
We have to get on. We have to get on. We have so much time and so little to do. Like that. Reverse it. This way, please. Take the Wonkavator.
Now, what is the Wonkavator? There are two versions. There's the one from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which is this glass elevator-looking thing, and it can go anywhere. And there's the one from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is just a square cube. And since the factory took so long, I'm gonna make that version. So I loaded Grandpa Joe, Charlie, and Willy Wonka into the Wonkavator, and now we're gonna send them off.
Here it comes.
And Willy Wonka gave Charlie the Chocolate Factory because a grown-up would want to do everything their way and not Willy Wonka's way. And that's why he sent out the golden tickets to find a kid to do it. And now Charlie's whole family could move into the factory, even the grandparents that all share a bed. And they're probably still gonna have to because there are no beds in this factory. But hey, at least his grandpa could do backflips off the chocolate waterfall.
Don't forget what happened to the man who suddenly got everything he always wanted.
What? He hit the subscribe button. What do you mean? That's not the line?
He lived happily ever after.
And you know, there's another way to make yourself happy with the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace. Squarespace is an awesome online website builder that you can use to make amazing looking websites for your business or hobby. Now, it turns out I have a lot of extra Lego sets and pieces lying around that I could probably sell to pay for college. So I decided to start a Squarespace website where I could sell some of these Lego sets that are not even available in stores anymore. Or have you ever wanted to start a podcast with your friends or an online blog? Well, Squarespace is a great place for that too because they give you a load of different templates that you can use for things like podcasts, and it makes it really easy, and they have a bunch of tutorials to help you set up. Also, do you have a YouTube channel with any following that you think you could sell some epic merch? Because with Squarespace, you could set up a merch store so that way all your fans can wear some fire merch. So make sure to check out Squarespace with the link in my description and use link squarespace.com/republicstuds, and you can get set up with your first website with 10% off your first purchase. I'll also leave a link for my Squarespace website I set up so that way, you know, I can pay for college. Did I also mention on my website I was able to list some of the remaining Florida Man minifigures that I have, and this is going to be the only place left you can buy them. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to my friend the Brickaniac, who really helped design a whole ton of this Willy Wonka chocolate factory. He's a really great guy and definitely deserves a sub. God bless and stay awesome. Willy Wonka, Wonka Wonka, Oompa Loompa.